Good morning, viewers. Good morning, everybody. Now, out of these 18 articles, in those 6 themes, we have come to the last article, that is, say reading, Unity in Diversity in India. How India is united amidst of this much of diversity. These many religions, these many languages, these many faiths, these many habits of apparel, food, festivals, do we see in any part of the world, not only in a country, even in a continent also. Then if diversity is that much, then what made this country united? Unity in diversity in India. India, a country of many ethnic groups, is a land of myriad languages, many languages. Constitutionally recognized 22 official languages, among them Telugu is one, as you know. A veritable babel of tongues and numerous modes of apparel, dresses. For the most part, the continental dimensions of the country account for these variations and diversities. Though it is a country, its dimensions are just like a continent has. So, continental dimensions of this country made all this possible. Besides, in addition to, there are several religions, sects and beliefs, but there are certain common links and uniting bonds that people have sought to develop in order to achieve the eminently desirable goal of unity amidst diversity. The eminently desirable goal is how to achieve this unity in the middle of this diversity. To achieve that, what actually required, people seek. It is true that superficial observers are likely to be bewildered, confused by the astonishing variety of Indian life. If any person watches this country superficially, no doubt their superficial observation would confuse them. How it is possible to have this unity? How a person from Nagaland, so feel one with a person from Gujarat, how a person from Jammu Kashmir feel one with a person from Kerala. So certainly a superficial observer certainly would be confused. They fail to discover the one in many, the individual in the aggregate, the simple in the composite. So certainly they fail. How the unit thing, that may be an individual, that may be a custom, that may be anything, how it is a part of that whole. They cannot understand these drops of water, but how collectively it is making that ocean called this country India. So with them the whole is lost in parts. They cannot understand the whole. They may understand the parts, but in understanding the parts, if they feel that they have understood the whole, no doubt they would fail. What is needed is the superior interpretation. To understand such a country, what is needed is superior interpretation, synthesis of the power of the mind, and that can give rise to the vision of the whole. Superior interpretation and synthesis of the powers of the mind, they are highly required to interpret such a diversity. A keen penetrating insight will not fail to recognize the fundamental unity beneath the manifold variety in India. If we have that keep penetrating insight, our insight, ability to understand the things, and that insight is penetrating, piercing, and that penetration should be keen. So such a keen penetrating insight itself, it is a wonderful word. So it is not simple understanding something deeply, and that deep understanding should have further depth, that is penetrating insight and keen. With such keen penetrating insight, this can be understood. The diversity itself, far from being a damaging cause of disunity and weakness, is a fertile source of strength and wealth. Normally what we think the result would be of this diversity, so the fragmentation and disunity and disorder, but actually the other way it is happening, and that is the beauty of this country. and in fact it has become the source of strength and wealth. Sir Herbert Risley has rightly observed, a Westerner, beneath the manifold diversity of physical and social types, languages, customs, and religions, what strike the observers in India, there can still be discernible a certain underlying uniformity of life from the Himalayas to Cape Comorin, that is Kerala. Okay, so across the country, okay, though to a superficial observer it seems to be so diverse in nature, underneath that seemingly diverse nature there is an underlying thread. Okay, so that is making all these people united, which gives them that unity. This is the opinion of that Westerner, Sir Herbert Risley. Okay, one more foreigner, that is from his long and first-hand experience in India, Vincent A. Smith, one more Westerner, says that the civilization of India has many features which differentiate it from that of the other regions. No doubt, India's civilization is one of the most old civilizations in the world. In fact, if not the oldest civilization, it is no doubt one of the oldest civilizations of the world. But still, this one of the oldest civilizations, safe to say, also has some unique features, okay, that made it people accept that a wonderful civilization has taken place in this part of world called India. So while they are common to the whole country in degree sufficient to justify its treatment as unity in the history of human, social and intellectual development, in the history of human, social and intellectual development, as far as intellectual development, human development, social developments are concerned, no doubt safely we can say, seeing the wonderful features of this one of the oldest civilizations of the world, that such human, social and intellectual developments have taken place here in India. So that is not the opinion of any our own national. It is a neutral observer, that is Vincent A. Smith. Even the early Indian history unmistakably show that the political consciousness of the people has from the very early times grasped the whole of India as a unit. It is not a new phenomenon. Okay, since time immemorial, these political outfits and all those entities have grasped the wholeness of this country, okay, as a unit, and assimilated the entire area as the theatre of its activities. Okay, we cannot understand this country by looking at its parts. India is not a mere geographical expression. Of course, for that matter, no country is merely its geographical expression. What do you mean by geographical expression? This much area, okay, so these are the latitudes, these are longitudes, okay, so between these latitudes and longitudes, so what the geographical area for this much square kilometers, that is called India, or that is called so-and-so country. So such description cannot be given to any country, particularly India is not mere its geographical expression. So nor is it mere collection of its separate people, nor is it collection of its separate people. More than its people, India is. Understand? More than its people, India is. Okay. దేశమంటే మట్టి కాదు, దేశమంటే మనుషులే. బట్ హీ సేస్ దట్ సో ఇక్కడ ఉండే మనుషుల కంటే ఒక ఇంకా ఉన్నత స్థాయిలో ఉన్నది ఈ దేశం అంటే. Okay, India is more than its people also, and it's more than its traditions and conventions. India is much more than this. The best proof lies in the fact that Indian history has quickened into life. Okay, what does it mean? If we observe the life of India, no doubt there is no difference between you don't have to study history separately, because that Indian history has slowly okay, so creeped into the life of India, and there is so much of amalgamation. It means that Indian way of life is highly influenced by its history. We cannot look separately that Indian history and Indian way of life. So that is the meaning of this sentence. The best proof lies in the fact that Indian history has quickened, translated into India's life. India has many races, castes, subcastes, nationalities and communities, but the heart of India is one. I don't have to say, I don't have to explain the thing. So we are all heirs to a common and rich culture. No doubt we are all HEIRS, heirs to Varasulum, to very rich Indian culture. Our cultural heritage consists of our art and literature as they flourished centuries ago. This art and literature, okay, as they flourished centuries ago, to such art and culture, okay, we are inheritors. Our cultural heritage serves as a bond of unity between people of different faiths and creeds. Okay, though we have different faiths, different creeds, religions, languages, this and that, what is the common thread? The common thread is our very rich cultural heritage, he says. The streams of different cultures have flowed into our subcontinent to make us what we are and what we will be. So that is the beauty. Though when those dominations, okay, from the other parts of the world, okay, happened on this country, so maybe a few thought that so India's culture and okay, it was disturbed by these foreign people and all, but in fact with them they brought their culture and all, and that culture also as a tributary to a river, okay, so it has flown into that very big river called India's culture and has become part of that India's culture. And in that way, now all those cultures that have come into this country because of those foreign rulers, and those foreign cultures in fact enriched India's culture and made it more than what it was. So, and it is because of that what we are today and what we will be and what we have been, it is. And there were Dravidians in India before the coming of the Aryans, and Hinduism is a blend of the centuries of north and the south. In fact, they say it is not a religion, okay, it is a way of life, and Hinduism is a blend of the cultures of the north and the south. India has 150 dialects, that means languages, okay, accent and all, and 22 officially recognized regional languages. Okay. 150 dialects, it means they don't have script and all, but they are spoken, that they are known as dialects, asa, okay. And 22 recognized regional languages, as I told you, among those one is Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam and all. 22 officially recognized, constitutionally recognized languages. But Hindi, like English, has come to stay as the lingua franca of our nation. Lingua franca, it does mean that a common language that is used and understood and spoken by people speaking different languages. For example, in India, people speak different languages, 22, and to all these 22 language speaking different people, one language that is commonly understood and spoken and to some extent understood, that is Hindi. So such common language is known as lingua franca. As you know, okay, it is not some general knowledge question and all. Across the world, what is that lingua franca? That is English. So from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Mumbai to Nagaland, Hindi is now understood and recognized as the national language of India. Okay. So across the country, this language is spoken and at least understood. That's why it has become a lingua franca of the country, just like English to the world. India has a rich cultural heritage. We are inheritors of the several grand treasures in the fields of music, fine arts, dance, drama, theatre and sculpture, Silpakala Shastram. Our sages and seers, okay, Drashta and Muni. Okay. So our sages and seers have left behind a tradition of piety, thinking about God and religious thoughts, penance, tapassu, spiritual greatness, adhyatmikata unnati, conquest of passion, korikal jayincham, so Buddhism, okay, etc. Our sculptures are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom. From where we got this spiritual wisdom? Our sculptures, they are the storehouses of the true wisdom, what actually are to be known. Our sculptures are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom. Our saints aspire to realization of the infinite. What is infinite? Okay, from where we came, where we go, in between what we have to do, what actually is the truth, what behind this impermanent nature, is there anything that is permanent? That is the reality. In search of that reality, these sages and seers, they are aspiring. We have inherited great spiritual values, contrasted with which the materialistic progress of the West appears insignificant. In the other way, how spiritually we are, this spiritual richness of this country, okay, makes the material richness of the West pale. Okay, in comparison with that spiritual richness of this country, India, materialistic richness of that Western world is insignificant. It pales. Okay. The West has to learn a lot from India. The Western countries, okay, has a lot to learn from India, and it has now been realized when people in the United States and Europe, that is Western countries, are turning to the Indian way of life slowly, because of this globalization and because of this very wonderful, okay, advanced technology and social media and all. Whatever is happening here across the world within no seconds, so people come to know because of the spread of this, okay, so communication and all. Now the Western people, okay, they slowly are turning to the way of Indian life. Indian yogis and maharshis, musicians and spiritual leaders have all attracted them in a big way. Maharshis, musicians and spiritual leaders, okay, they have attracted all those foreigners in a big way. A significant move to project India's cultural unity has been the holding of festivals of India in various parts of the world to promote India's culture and Indian way of life. Okay, Indian government has decided to conduct India festival. It doesn't mean that some Diwali or Dasara. So there that Indian culture and traditions and our customs, so they are presented. That is the meaning of a country festival. In order to promote our good things, so Indian government or India decided to conduct these India festivals across the world. The West is fast inclining, it is turning towards our spiritual values, which include what those spiritual values. Okay, what those spiritual values are. Okay, so the values that are connected to spirit, they are meditation, okay, and contemplation, charity and love, universal brotherhood, Vishwamanav Saubhratutvam, and fear of God, piety. Okay, so piety, thoughts about okay, so God and all, and unselfishness, control of passion, and peace of mind are many other qualities. It is not possible to mention all those spiritually great qualities. These qualities, okay, so no doubt they are they have been observed and practiced in this great land called India and have been promoted to the world. Now the time has come for the world to turn towards these spiritual values, okay, keeping that an eye, okay, aside from that materialistic richness of that countries. Okay, what the rest of the part is, let us see in the second video. Thank you so much. Take care.